Hello and welcome, I'm Nikita Kapur and you're watching the Daily Jagran. In this special segment, I will bring you some of the top stories of the day. Let's begin. A dramatic and dangerous escalation in the Middle East. In the early hours of Friday, Israel launched a massive and coordinated military offensive against Iran, striking at the heart of its nuclear and military infrastructure. The Israeli assault targeted Iran's main uranium enrichment facilities, strategic missile bases, and key military leadership. Explosions rocked Tehran, with Iranian state television confirming civilian casualties, including women and children, in residential areas that too. Among the dead, reportedly, is Hossein Salami, the commander-in-chief of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Iranian state media announced his death, calling him a martyr after missiles struck the command center and nearby air defense units. Meanwhile, Israel's defense minister said that the goal of this very operation is to dismantle Iran's nuclear weapon capabilities. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called it a targeted military operation to roll back Iran's threat to Israel. He further claimed the strikes were aimed at both nuclear scientists and missile production sites and warned that the operation would continue for days. Iran, meanwhile, has vowed to retaliate. While the exact nature of that response remains unknown yet, the region stands on the edge, bracing for what could become a wider conflict. What we do know is that Iran has launched hundreds of drones towards Israel, which were intercepted by the Israeli forces. Anticipating a retaliation, a bigger one, Israel has declared a state of emergency with military forces on high alert. Missile and drone defenses have been reinforced amid fears of imminent Iranian response. Remember, the United States and its Western allies have long accused Iran of secretly pursuing nuclear weapons, an accusation Tehran has repeatedly denied. Recent escalating tension between Iran and Israel has sent shockwaves through international aviation routes as well. Iran has officially shut down its airspace following a series of Israeli airstrikes targeting key Iranian military and nuclear facilities, and the impact is being felt thousands of kilometers away here in India as well. Over 15 Air India international flights were either diverted or called back mid-air due to the sudden closure of Iranian airspace. Data from flight radar reveals a massive clearing out of commercial aircraft over Iran, Iraq and Israel early this morning, just minutes after Israel launched a surprise attack deep into the Iranian territory. Israel claims the strikes targeted Iran's nuclear facilities, ballistic missile factories and key military commanders. Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion airport has now been shut, and Israel's missile defense system remain on high alert, bracing for a retaliatory response from Tehran. This comes amid mounting fears of a wider regional conflict as Iran has vowed to retaliate. The closure of its airspace is being seen as a possible to a counter-strike to or further military escalation. Back home, the Indian government has issued an advisory for its citizens in both Iran and Israel, urging them to remain alert and follow all safety protocols. Thousands of Indian nationals live and work across the region. For now, global airlines, including India's flagship carrier, are trading with caution. But the bigger question looms: is Iran preparing for a counter-strike, and how close are we to an all-out confrontation between two of the most volatile powers in the Middle East? India's auto industry and high society are both in mourning. Sujay Kapur, the chairman of auto components giant Sona Comstar, passed away in the UK while taking part in a polo match. While the official cause of the death is listed as heart attack, there's a bizarre twist that's raising eyebrows and questions. According to reports, the industrialist collapsed mid-game. Business consultant Suhail Seth, His dear friend also claimed that the heart attack may have been triggered after Sanjay Kapur swallowed a bee during the match, and that possibly led to an allergic reaction and cardiac arrest. News agency ANI quoted said, though his claim has not been verified yet. His company, Sonacom Star, has officially confirmed Sanjay Kapur's death in a statement citing heart attack as the reason. Sanjay Kapur was known not just for his corporate leadership but also for his high-profile personal life, including his marriage to Bollywood star Karisma Kapur, which ended in divorce in 2016. He is survived by his wife Priya Sachdev and 3 children. The London-bound Air India flight carrying 242 passengers and crew crashed just minutes after takeoff, and what followed was an inferno so intense, rescue officials say it was impossible to save anyone. We now know that the blaze, fueled by over 1.25 lakh liters of aviation fuel, sent temperatures soaring to nearly 1000 degrees Celsius. That's 10 times hotter than boiling water and enough to melt aluminium in minutes. This was not just a fire, it was a firestorm. A senior fire official said that the moment the aircraft's fuel tank exploded, it created what he called an inferno. There was no time, no warning, no chance. The plane had barely cleared the city limits when it crashed into a densely populated residential area, and the skies above Ahmedabad turned black with smoke. Even the specially trained State Disaster Management Response Force, the SDRF, found themselves overwhelmed. The rescuers wore PPE kits, but the intensity made even standing near the wreckage nearly impossible for the SDRF teams as well. Recovery of bodies has been one of the most harrowing tasks. The blaze charred the remains to such an extent that DNA testing is now the only way to identify victims. Families wait in silence, hoping for a name, a confirmation, some closure. A flight meant to connect families is now the reason so many are shattered. What caused the crash? Was it engine failure, a technical glitch, human error? That is now part of a high-level investigation already underway. A tragedy that has shaken the entire nation. Air India flight AI 171 bound for London crashed shortly after takeoff from Ahmedabad's Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. After the crash, questions loom large over safety protocols, airline operations and accountability. Amid the anger and outrage, particularly directed at Air India, an unexpected voice of support has emerged. Comedian and actor Veer Das took to social media with a heartfelt message defending Air India and the professionalism of its crew. In an emotional message, Veer Das said, and I quote, "I just wanted to add my support for the crew. I have flown Air India all my life. It is not an airline without problems, but without fail. I know them to be the best crew in the sky." He went on to say, time will tell what happened on this tragic flight. At a time when Air India and parent company Tata Group are facing intense scrutiny, financial markets reacting, shares plummeting, it is this message of compassion that has stirred a national conversation. One not just about accountability but also about humanity. While investigations are underway and safety protocols will be reviewed, today we also remember that behind every uniform was a life, a family and a story. And sometimes, amidst all the noise, voices like Veer Das remind us that grief and blame don't always travel in the same direction. We will of course continue to track developments in this heartbreaking story. We await the black box analysis, the response from DGCA and possible international investigations. Well, this is all what we have time for in this special segment. For more news and updates, you can subscribe to the Daily Jagran. You can also log on to thedailyjagran.com. Thanks for tuning in. This is Nikita Kapur signing off.